Part 1. The Girl Who Refused to Be Silent. This is not just a story about school. This is not just a story about courage. This is the story of a girl who was told to stay quiet. But instead she made the whole world listen. Her name is Malala Yousafzai. She was born on July 12, 1997, in Mingora, a small town in the Swat Valley of Pakistan. Her father, Ziauddin Yousafzai, was a teacher and a poet. He believed that words could build nations, and that girls deserved the same education as boys. From the moment Malala was born, her father did something rare in his culture. He celebrated. Most people were disappointed when a girl was born, but her father looked at her tiny face and said, "She will be free." Malala grew up surrounded by mountains, books, and dreams. She loved school, especially science and English. She wanted to become a doctor, to help people and heal her country. Her father ran a small school where boys and girls could learn together. But one day, darkness began to fall over the valley. A group called the Taliban started taking control. They banned music. They burned TVS. They destroyed schools, especially schools for girls. They said, "A woman's place is in the home, not in the classroom." Malala was only 10, but her heart was older than her age. She couldn't understand how learning could be a crime. Her father told her, "Education is your right. Never let them take it away." So Malala began to speak. At first, she spoke in small gatherings. Then, she started writing secretly for the BBC Urdu blog, using a fake name, Gul Makai. She wrote about her fear, her dreams, and the bombs that fell near her home. Her words were raw, simple, powerful. "They can stop us from going to school, but they cannot stop us from learning." Her blog reached thousands. Her courage reached millions. But it also reached the Taliban, and they were not pleased. Part 2. The Day the World Stopped. It was October 9th, 2012. Malala was 15 years old. She sat in her school bus, laughing with her friends after exams. The bus stopped on a dusty road. A man with a gun climbed in. He looked around and asked, "Who is Malala?" The bus went silent. No one moved. Then Malala turned her head slightly. 3 bullets were fired. One hit her in the head. The world stopped breathing. News spread like wildfire. Girl shot for going to school. People cried. Doctors said she might not survive. She was flown from Pakistan to Birmingham, England, for emergency surgery. For days, she lay between life and death. But Malala was never one to give up. Her body was weak, but her spirit was unbreakable. Weeks later, she opened her eyes. She couldn't speak at first. She couldn't walk. But slowly, painfully, she began to heal. And when she finally spoke again, her first words were not about revenge. They were about education. She said softly, "I want every girl in the world to have the same right, to learn." The Taliban tried to silence her, but instead her voice became louder than ever. What they tried to destroy became unstoppable. Part 3. The voice that shook the world. Malala moved to England with her family. She continued her education, wearing her scars like medals. People everywhere wanted to hear her story. She spoke at the United Nations on her 16th birthday, wearing a simple pink scarf that once belonged to Benazir Bhutto, Pakistan's first female prime minister, another woman who had fought for her people. Her voice filled the room. One child, one teacher, one book, one pen can change the world. The crowd stood and applauded. Some had tears in their eyes. They weren't just hearing a teenager. They were hearing the echo of hope. Malala became a symbol, not of pain, but of possibility. She traveled from Kenya to Syria, from Nigeria to America, meeting girls who were still fighting to go to school. She told them, "You are not alone. Your dream matters. You are powerful." In 2014, Malala became the youngest person in history to win the Nobel Peace Prize, at just 17 years old. She didn't smile for fame. She smiled because it meant people were finally listening. She shared the award with another brave soul, Kailash Satyarthi, who fought against child labor in India. Together they reminded the world, children are meant to hold books, not guns. Part 4. The Girl Who Kept Dreaming. Even after becoming famous, Malala never stopped being a student. She went to Oxford University, studied politics, philosophy, and economics, and kept speaking for girls everywhere. She started the Malala Fund, a global movement supporting education for girls in countries where it's still denied. Through her foundation, schools were rebuilt, teachers were hired, and millions of girls found new hope. Malala once said, "I tell my story not because it is unique, but because it is not." She meant that there are millions like her, girls who want to learn, girls who dream of being doctors, scientists, artists, leaders, but who are told they can't. Malala speaks for them all. And still, she remains humble. She loves tea, cricket, and laughter. She misses her homeland, the smell of the Swat Valley rain. She writes in her diary, paints sometimes, and says she still feels like a normal girl who just refused to be quiet. Part 5. The Lesson of Malala. Malala's story is not about one bullet. It's about one belief: that education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. She didn't fight with anger. She fought with words. She didn't seek revenge. She sought knowledge. She didn't become bitter. She became better. Her message is simple, but it can move mountains. When the whole world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful. So, if you're reading this, remember, you don't need to be rich. You don't need to be famous. You don't even need to be fearless. You just need to start speaking your truth. Malala's courage teaches us 3 lessons. 1. Your voice matters, even if it shakes. 2. Your education is your freedom. Never take it for granted. 3. Your story can change the world if you dare to share it. Final words, Malala Yousafzai turned pain into purpose, fear into fire, and silence into song. She was just a girl on a bus, but her words traveled farther than bullets ever could. From the mountains of Pakistan to the halls of Oxford, she proved that one girl's courage can wake the world. So whenever life tries to silence you, remember her. Remember the girl who was shot for learning, but rose to teach humanity the meaning of bravery. Remember the girl who spoke to the world and made it listen. We realize the importance of our voices only when we are silenced. Malala Yousafzai.